golf. If you didn't see the front nine, you need to go back and watch it for some really good golf. I've already had an eagle, a couple of birdies, playing really well. I'm 1 under in a US Am Tour event, looking to dominate on the back nine and win this golf tournament. The 10th hole at Hawks Creek is a par 3. On this day, it was playing close to 190 yards. I had the benefit of watching my buddy Tim leave one on the front half of the green, so I know that it's playing a little longer. In this case, I'm picking a 5-iron, trying to aim it just right of the pin and draw it in over that bunker. And that was flushed. It's turning back, needed to draw a little bit more. And that's a pretty good strike. My heart rate is racing at this point. I've been walking the entire round, pushing the cart. It's 103 degrees in Texas, and my heart rate is elevated. When I got to this ball, I had just around 9 feet for birdie. That was actually the closest shot of the day. Ended up winning closest to the pin, winning a nice chunk of change for this shot. Putt breaks from right to left. Just needs a firm strike. And that's low and left. Just didn't get it started high enough. Pace was actually pretty good. Just broke more than I read. Easy tap in par to stay at 1 under, moving into the 11th hole. The 11th hole is kind of a dogleg right. The way the fairway sloped, you actually got to cut the corner so you can see the spectators there on the right, my playing partner on the right. I'm hitting it straight over their heads. And I caught that very high on the face. Almost missed it. But sometimes when you hit it high on the face, it comes out with no spin.
It's gonna end up deep. That's what we call a good miss.
And that's what we call a good miss. Carried the corner, bounced in the fairway, ended up in a great spot. Just about 147 yards left. It's down the hill. I've got some help, so only hitting a pitching wedge here. The pin's on the right half of the green. Need to get it started to the right.
Alex, focus. Get like dead.
I don't like it.
Freaking runny nose got me.
So at this point, my heart rate's been going crazy. My allergies are acting up and my nose is dripping like a faucet. I apologize if you're going to hear me sniffling throughout the entire round, but it does get in the way. You need to learn to take care of that because you can't be thinking about it when you're hitting shots. Needless to say, I've got this long putt for birdie from off the fringe. I paced it off, but did not get the speed right. Left myself a solid 10 feet coming back. Need to make this putt to keep my momentum. Again, I pace it off. I like to look at the hole to try to get an idea of which way the grain is going. You'll notice that the grain will be growing into the side with the ragged edge. That's how you can easily tell where the grain is going. 10 feet for par. And that was a good stroke. Just misread it a little bit. Just went right over the edge. Easy tap in bogey. That's a drop shot, and that puts me back to even.
I'm always there. Mission to buzz the tower.
Mission granted.
Flyby.
You can see there's a guy in the middle of my fairway waiting to hit a shot.
Wait, hold on. You gonna let him hit?
Okay. It's probably the right thing to do. You're right.
Yeah, you would have buzzed the tower. It'd have gave you some side.
So I'm waiting for him to hit. He's not really in my way. I'm going to carry him easily, so he's not really in danger there. Obviously, the right thing to do is to let him hit so I don't distract him while he's playing. But he's playing the hole I just left, so he's slowing down play by not moving.
He's standing there moving.
And I'm probably a little impatient here. I should wait for him to get out of the way so I can clear my mind, but I don't.
I shouldn't have been thinking about that, though.
Tim tried to get me to stop. There's so much room left. There was no reason to hit that. I thought I was dead off the tee, but I did find it. It's right here on the edge. Right here on the edge of the hazard. This is where you've got to be smart. No reason to be a superhero. You're just trying to tap it out where you can get a club on it. With as far as I am on a par 5, all I have to do is get it into the clearing and I'll be able to advance it to the green. So this should still be a fairly easy par. Just don't do anything crazy. Doing a little landscaping, getting all the brush out of the way so I can focus on the ball. It's really easy to mess up these little punch shots when you got a weird lie and you're worried about branches. The key is to focus on hitting the ball. Don't worry about anything else. It's a recovery shot. If I can advance it 15 feet into grass, I will be pretty happy. Just don't whiff it. Don't put it back in the hazard. And that was exactly what I wanted to do. That's a good shot from that position. I didn't have to take a penalty stroke. Unfortunately, the GoPro probably got too hot and I missed a couple of shots here. So we'll talk about some micro mistakes that we had here. I only had a pitching wedge in and I hit a good pitching wedge. I actually hit it on the green. I hit it to 36 feet, which is a pretty good result given where I was after the tee shot. Nonetheless, when I got there, I was too aggressive. I ran it past the hole, left myself a good 7 feet coming back, and missed it. So that's a 3-putt from 36 feet. And now we start talking about those micro mistakes I was talking about. I didn't wait for the guy to get out of my way on the tee. And then I hit a mediocre pitching wedge from the rough. And then I ran a putt a little bit too far by. I made 3 mistakes on this hole to lead to bogey, which is unfortunate, but now that's bogey back to back going into the 13th hole. On the 13th hole, my GoPro also missed a tee shot. This is the last shot that it missed, but it's a pretty straightforward par 4. Nothing crazy here, you can bomb it. The only danger is way left. So I was a little protective here and smashed the driver down the right-hand side, but I'm in fine position just a little bit below the green. No harm, no foul. And I've left myself just an easy wedge. However, being a little careful and favoring the right-hand side, it may have been a good miss, but I ended up with a poor lie here in the rough. There's a pretty big weed right behind the ball that you can't really see, but it's going to be very hard not to hit this ball fat. And I did exactly what I thought I might do with that weed. Caught it a little heavy, blade was open, and the lie got me. Now I'm scrambling. I'm coming off of 2 bogeys. And I'm not on the green in regulation. You certainly want to stop the bleeding because it's hot. My heart rate's racing. I'm trying to stay in the tournament. Obviously, my allergies are still going crazy. Just need a good pitch to get the wheels back on the cart. Walk away with an easy par. That's a pretty good shot. Past the flag was all downhill, down grain, so it did release a little more than I wanted it to.
Damn it.
A little strong. Again, I pace it off, so this is in the neighborhood of 12 feet. 12 feet for par. This is a critical putt to get the wheels back on the cart and stop the bleeding. And it's right in the center.
Stealing one. That's a 4.
With authority.
With authority.
I had to hit it quick before my nose ran again. The 11th hole is a dogleg left par 4. It is a difficult hole because you are basically forced to lay up off the tee and leave yourself a long second shot. So in this case, I'm hitting driving iron at those bunkers.
Soft.
And in retrospect, that was too much club. I could have just hit a 4-iron. My 2-iron going down the hill hit the fairway and ran out a good 40 yards further than I expected it to, and right into the hazard. So now my ball is technically in the hazard. It's in a hanging lie in some long grass, and I can get a club on it. I'm trying to convince myself to hit it. I changed clubs, and what I'm going through right now is realistically, all I'm going to be able to do with this ball is potentially advance it across the creek. Give myself 40, 50 yard pitch is your best case scenario. I've got a lot of loft and I'm just trying to advance it across the creek from a really, really sketchy lie. And as I stand over this ball and address it and look at it, I've got to think of the bigger picture. I'm 1 over in a tournament, playing well. I've had a tough last 3 holes. It would be way too easy to just chunk this in the creek and turn it into a big number and throw the tournament away. This is the smart play. Go drop it in the fairway, knock it on the green, take double out of play. Worst case, you make bogey. Your tee shot didn't deserve that, so let's go reward yourself with a smart play. Best case scenario, I knock this on the green and have a par putt. That's a pretty good strike with a pitch and wedge from 146. Ends up just on the left-hand side of the green. But that's why you came here. If you start making decisions like this, I promise your scores will get better. Most amateurs are going to try to hit that out of that hanging line, the hazard, and nothing good can happen there. Even if you advance it 40 to 50 yards, you're probably still making bogey. So take double out of play, and your scores will thank you. Now I have a putt for par from off the green. Just get the pace right. Almost made it, just over the left edge. So I dang near made par from there. I certainly made the right decision because now I have an easy tap in bogey and I've minimized the damage of the unlucky tee shot. The downside is that brings me to +2 for the round. So I've given 3 shots back in short succession, likely playing too fast and making mental mistakes. The 15th hole is a short par 4. There's a bunker up there on the right-hand side. It's really bombs away. I can't reach it up the hill, so there's no risk there. Just hit it in the fairway, and I should have nothing but a flip wedge into the green. And you'll notice I didn't like how my tee was set up, so I re-teed it, but I didn't go through the full routine. I didn't back up and realign myself to this shot. That becomes problematic. I'm aimed at the bunker on the right-hand side of the fairway, but never really cleared my mind. My hips did not get through that ball. I was uncommitted, and I've pulled that ball way to the left.
Hit it when you're not ready.
As I said, hit it when I wasn't ready. My mind was not clear. Despite all that, I don't have too difficult a shot. I've got a 94-yard shot over these trees. You actually can't see the pin because it's directly behind that tree trunk. But there's nothing difficult here. It's a wedge. That tree's not really in play. I'm going to hit it right over the top of it. Just be mindful of the slope. Get something on the green. Let's 2-putt for a par and get out. And from where I stood, this was flag hunting. Right over the flagstick, really well struck. Too well struck. That sand wedge just went 111 yards uphill.
Jeez, man. I crushed it.
I thought you was on the green.
So did I. I hit it good.
Yeah, we all thought I hit a pretty good shot, but I ended up way back here on this hill with a very slippery downhill, down-grain putt. I'm off the green, not technically in rough, so I'm just using a putter here trying to tap it down the hill and snuggle it close. And it got away from me. Again, micro mistakes. Mistake off the tee, mistake off the wedge hitting it long, now mistake off the putter. It's 3 mistakes to get me in trouble, and those 3 mistakes have left me 15 feet for par. But let me show you how to get out of this situation. I make a good read, and I convince myself that this putt is going in.
So it's going in, Timmy.
Go in, man. I see it.
I'm not dog cussing myself.
All the
I'm sure
way.
you see it too.
All the way.
The wedge shot that I hit was good.
Easiest putt I've had all day.
The putt got a little away from me, and I'm just one good putt away from par and getting out of here.
All day.
The power of positive thinking.
Let's see if I can repeat that.
He doesn't. So I've saved par on the 15th hole, which brings us to the 16th hole. This is an interesting split fairway hole, and you might talk yourself into hitting a lot of club down the left to try to get closer, but realistically, if you hit an iron down the right-hand side, you're just going to have a wedge in. So that's the smart play. I make sure to take less enough club that the water is not in play. If it gives me a slightly longer shot, that's okay, but I do not want to flirt with the water. And that's exactly what I've done. I had 240 yards and I only hit a 5-iron. That way I knew that I wouldn't go all the way to the water. And in fact, my playing partner Tim made the mistake of hitting a little bit more. He hit hybrid and it rolled all the way into the water. So good decision. If you're going to lay up, make sure you lay up. That leaves me with a pitching wedge from 132 yards. The green is sloped, kind of favoring a fade, which I hit a draw. So I'm going to aim a little to the right of the pin. And Didn't hit my best shot, but I'm on the green. And for the first time in 4 holes, I've got an easy par in front of me.
I'm trying to limp in. I said I feel like a couple of strokes I've dropped have been me trying to make up for him. I need to get better at not doing that.
So I was self-aware while playing that I was giving shots away, that I was hurrying, and that I was focused on the wrong things. And if you can be aware that that's happening, then you can start transitioning it to make better decisions. And that's what I've done here. I'm just trying to lag up and make my par. That's a pretty good putt. I thought it had a chance to go in, runs out of gas, and I've got to tap in par. So if you're playing and you have a good round and you see things going sideways, you've got to start focusing on the things that you can control and start relying on going back to your routine. If you continue to get distracted by a slow playing partner, or by, in this case, a drippy nose or your heart rate, then it can get away from you. But I've got the tourniquet on and I'm starting to play better golf. The 17th hole is a very short par 3, just a wedge. It was playing about 125 yards on this day. Pin's way in the back. I thought I had too much club with a pitching wedge, so I'm kind of choking down and trying to hit a soft one.
You were like, you said something about 122. I was like, did I shoot the wrong
It says 122, 22. Is that in the back?
So in the shot tracking, I didn't move the pin to the back. This actually went 122 yards and kind of went to the back. That's where the flag actually was. Which, after a great shot, I've left myself just 7 feet for birdie. This would be a good chance to erase some of the mistakes after a good shot. I've got myself back in a good place. And that was a good putt. I started it a good half a cup to a cup outside the hole. I started it a good half cup outside, and it just broke across the hole.
We had a good ball outside. I didn't expect it to snap.
So that's a par. But again, after that 4-hole stretch of struggling, I've put together three pars, and I'm in good shape. The last hole is a straightaway par 5. What's difficult not knowing this golf course is you can't see the right side of the fairway very well because of trees and that hill. And so, in retrospect, I aimed too far left. And whether it was tired legs or otherwise, I pulled that ball into the fairway of the 9th hole. So probably my worst tee shot of the day.
Saved a good swing for last.
But again, good mindset. Remind yourself that it's a par 5 and you've got 3 shots to get on the green. Don't do anything crazy here. That's what I say in retrospect. On the golf course, I'm trying to get it back in the fairway and hit it a long way over these trees, which is difficult when I need a cut and I tend to hit draws. That was a poor decision and a poor swing.
I made the bunker. Not my best.
I honestly should have just hit a 5-iron down the 9th fairway and had a wedge in. Instead, I hit 3-wood into this bunker and I've got the tricky 70-yard bunker shot.
Oh, Dallas.
And I blew it. So, after an entire day of good golf, I'm on the struggle bus. That ball, after hitting the lip, plugged. So, though I have 61 yards, I've got no realistic shot at hitting this green. I'm just trying to splash it out of the bunker to put a wedge back in my hand. I've made 2 mistakes now. So I get the fried egg out, and I'm in the rough. But now I got to get up and down to save bogey. Not what I wanted after a solid day of golf. But I've got to get focused here because +2 is a good score. +2 probably wins the tournament, given how hot it is. So even in champ flight, usually around even can win, but it feels like +2 is a good enough number on this day. And I hit a pretty good wedge here, but it rolled past the hole.
Tim, this is the second easiest putt I've had today.
Well, all good one, Webby. Let's go.
Again, good mindset. Second easiest putt I've had today. In my mind, I am making this putt. All I have to do is hit it. That's what I'm telling myself. All you have to do is hit it, and it's in.
Yep. Boy. Damn.
And I was right. It's in. Unfortunately, that's a bogey, and that's a 75, so I drop a shot on the last hole. Still a lot of good golf, and realistically that back 9 could have been a 41 or a 42. I managed to control the bleeding and get in. From a results standpoint, I ended up finishing in 2nd place in this golf tournament. I missed the playoff by 1 stroke, so that last hole was what killed me. When you're playing golf, it's important to keep a level head. Those micro mistakes are what add up and kill you. You can make a small mistake once on a hole, but if you make multiple, that's how you turn pars into bogeys and bogeys into doubles. Reset, go through your routine, and you'll start playing better. And make sure you take allergy medicine. If you made it this long, I appreciate it. Please like and subscribe for more content. In a later video, I'll go through the stats of this round in detail so that you can see how I look at this in post to know what to do in the future. Thanks for watching.